Hi guys, and welcome back to another Championship video. Today we're moving on to round 25. Recap of round 24. We got no scores correct, but there were only 4 fixtures that actually ended up being played, so we could still get some of those correct. Just waiting for all the games that have been postponed to be played, but that obviously won't be for a while. Now these are the last fixtures of the year, as obviously just like Christmas, end of December, and then into 2022. Should be some good fixtures in here. The ones that are playing anyway, there's still some postponements. Some of the games I'll probably give a prediction for, and then it will be postponed like as or after this video comes out. I got a new Christmas present, which is the new Blues top from this season, the home kit. I think it's really nice. I love the pattern on it, and I have wanted it. I just haven't really went out and bought one, but I got it bought for me, so that's lovely. And I think it's a really nice home kit, one of our best for a while. Now let's get into my predictions. And starting off with a postponed game, Swansea versus Luton. Now Swansea, they've lost 3 in a row. Luton, they drew their last game 1-1 with Fulham. Obviously a very good result, although Fulham haven't been the best that they've been recently, not winning any in 5. However, both these teams have had their last 2 games postponed. So it's a bit difficult to tell because it works both ways. We've seen in the Premier League these fixtures. Man United, they should have been really fresh and they played terribly against Newcastle. So you can't really tell whether it's going to affect them positively or negatively. But I'm just going to go in this one for a draw because Luton drew their last game. Swansea are right. They've got Joel Pirot. It's just sort of not clicking at the moment. But I think they'll get a result here. So I'm going to go 1-1. Blues versus Peterborough next. Another postponed game. But Blues, we lost our last game 4-0 to Blackburn. Absolutely smashed. And yeah, was obviously a terrible game, but Blackburn are in terrific form. I really don't know what's going on. Riley McGree now, because this is postponed, isn't going to play another game for us. And we're just really struggling. We need reinforcements in January, but we don't have any money. So it's going to be an interesting transfer window. Hoping we can get some players in. And to be honest, I'm quite glad that the Fulham game and this game have both been postponed, just to give us a chance to get some players in, really. Peterborough, they lost their last game 3-1 against Blackpool. And I just want to focus on Peterborough's away form. That's why I'm going for what I'm going for here. Peterborough, they've played 12 games away, won 1, lost 11. So if we weren't to win this, I would be extremely worried. Wouldn't surprise me as they beat us in the reverse of this 3-0. But their away form is like they're a completely different team to their home form. So just purely for how bad they are away, I'm going to go Blues to win 2-0. On to a game that is being played, Blackburn versus Barnsley. Now Blackburn, they've won 5 in a row, and in those 5 games, they haven't conceded a goal. They are in incredible form, and if they can keep it up, keep hold of Brereton Diaz, because there will be interest in the transfer window from Premier League teams, then there's no reason why they can't get automatic promotion. If they keep playing like this, they could do it. Barnsley, they've drew 3 of their last 4. So not as awful as they were because they were losing pretty much every game. But they're not winning, which they need to because they are so far the worst performing team in the league. So yeah, I've got to go here. Blackburn to win. And I'm going to go 3-0. Blackpool versus Middlesbrough next. And Blackpool, they lost 3-2 to Huddersfield in their last game. And they've lost 4 of their last 5. The only win was at home against Peterborough, which isn't surprising. Middlesbrough, they beat Nottingham Forest 2-0 to put an end to Forest's good 9-game unbeaten run. And Middlesbrough themselves have won 4 of their last 5. So they're in very good form, and I think it's going to continue here. Middlesbrough to win 2-0. Coventry versus Millwall next. And Coventry, they've drawn 4 out of their last 5. Something we'd probably normally associate with their opponents, Millwall. Millwall in their last game, they lost to Peterborough 2-1. Both these teams haven't played for a while because their last 2 games have been postponed. So very similar to the 2 teams earlier. I'm going to go in this for a draw because Coventry have been drawing a lot. And I tend to go for a Millwall draw anyway. So 1-1. Sheffield United versus Hull next. And Sheffield United are in good form. They've won 4 in a row, including a 1-0 away win against Fulham, which is a brilliant result for them. Hull, they haven't won in 3, and they lost their last game 2-1 against Forest. Now for this, Hull, they have been scoring in pretty much every game recently since they started that unbeaten run. But Sheffield United I fancy to win. So I'm going to go for both teams to score, Sheffield United to win, 2-1. Reading versus Fulham next. And Reading, they lost 1-0 to West Brom, and their last 2 games have been postponed. Fulham, they haven't won in 5, drawing 4 of them and losing their last game to Sheffield United. So they're not in great form at all. However, Fulham, I fancy them to get back into form, so I'm going to go Fulham 2-0. Bournemouth versus Cardiff next. And Bournemouth finally back to winning ways. After 6 games where they drew 3 and lost 3, they managed to beat QPR 1-0. Good result against a good QPR side. So will they continue winning games now? Will it put them back on track? I think they've got a very good chance in this one. Cardiff, they drew their last game 2-2 with Blues, and they've had their last 2 games postponed. I think Cardiff will score here. Cardiff are better, obviously, than they were under Mick McCarthy, but I do fancy them to score, and I can see Bournemouth sort of not being how they were, where they were winning and not conceding. They will concede a few, now, probably a goal a game, but can they put the ball in the back of the net more than once? Yes, I think they can. So Bournemouth to win, 2-1. Bristol City versus QPR now. Bristol City lost 3-2 to Huddersfield in their last game. QPR have lost 2 in a row, but it was against Stoke 2-0 and Bournemouth 1-0. I think QPR will get back to winning ways here. I'm going to go QPR to win 2-1. Forest v Huddersfield now, and this is an interesting one. Forest, they were unbeaten in 9, then they lost 2-0 to Middlesbrough, who are also in very good form. Huddersfield, they had picked up 2 points out of 4 games, and I thought, that's it, there's the drop-off that we expected, and they're going to start dropping down the table now. But then they've won their last 2 games, both 3-2, and they're in the top 6 again, sitting in 6th place. Could they be a surprise for the top 6 come the end of the season? No, if Huddersfield managed to finish top 6, even top 10, I'd be very surprised, but they just keep coming back. They'll have a little spell where they'll get losses and draws, and then they'll go on a bit of a winning run and pull it straight back. And yeah, I'm not sure about them. I originally had this as Forest to win, but I feel like I am way too harsh on Huddersfield all the time, always go against them, and they've won their last 2 games. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, not to win, but to get a result against a good Forest side. So I'm going to go 2-2. Stoke v Derby next. And Stoke, they drew their last game 0-0, and they've had their last 2 games postponed. Derby have won both their last 2 games, both 1-0, against Blackpool and West Brom. For this, I think Stoke are good defensively, and I'm just going to go for a 0-0 draw. West Brom versus Preston next, and West Brom, they lost their last game 1-0 against Derby, and they've only managed to score 3 goals in their last 7 games. They're just not putting the ball in the back of the net enough, and it's costing them. They're slipping and slipping. Blackburn have obviously went above them. They've got Fulham and Bournemouth above them. They're getting further away from the automatic promotion spots, which will be worrying for them, as that was obviously their goal at the start of the season. And with teams in great form like Sheffield United and Middlesbrough that are, lurking below them, maybe West Brom could slip out of the playoffs if they carry on going the way they are. Preston, they won their last game 2-1 against Barnsley, and they've got a new manager, and I just don't know much. I don't really know what to expect from them, as their first game being Barnsley is a very easy fixture at the moment. Barnsley are the worst team in the league on form. Well, just overall, sorry, they have been. So is it a case of having an easy first game so they won? Or, you sort of need to see a new manager come up against a difficult team to be able to judge where that team is under that manager. So this is probably a game that is hard to call, could go either way because of those circumstances. But I'm just going to go for down the middle, 1-1. So that's it. Those are my predictions for the last championship fixtures of 2021. Obviously, there's still half the season to come in 2022, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be brilliant, and it's going to be packed full of fixtures because there's been a lot of postponed games. Let me know in the comments what you agree with, what you disagree with, and put your predictions down in the comments too. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more championship content. Hopefully, Blues' game, it has been postponed, but hopefully when it is played, we can win. It's pretty much been a guaranteed win for every team that's played Peterborough away this season. So, it would be such a Blues thing for us to lose it, but let's hope we can win it. Up the Blues.